Hello and welcome to Clearview Television News. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. In the news, Independent National Electoral Commission declares PDP's Bello Matawale and his deputy winners of the 2019 governorship election in Zamfara State. Code of Conduct Bureau directs President Buhari, Vice President Oshibajo and all other public office holders to redeclare their assets on or before May 28. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, sworn in, vows to fight corruption and revive the economy. I am Rose Audu with the details of these and more. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has declared the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Zamfara State, Bello Matawale, as the governor-elect along with his deputy. This followed the Supreme Court's judgment delivered in Abuja on the 2019 governorship, national and state assembly elections held in the state. The Supreme Court on Friday ruled that the All Progressives Congress (APC) did not hold valid party primaries as required by law and therefore invalidated the participation of the party in the last governorship, National Assembly and State Assembly elections in Zamfara State. We will bring you details of this report in the bulletin. Earlier on Friday, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the 2019 presidential election, Atiku Abubakar, had commended the Supreme Court over its judgment against the All Progressives Congress in Zamfara State, northern Nigeria. In a statement issued by his media aide, Paul Ibe, the former vice president said nothing is as pleasing to the ears of believers as justice being served in the holy month of Ramadan. Abubakar commended the Supreme Court justices for putting aside the interest of the powerful and upholding the interests of Nigeria and Nigerians. Also, Governor of Bayelsa State and Chairman of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Henry Serake Dixon, has congratulated former federal lawmaker Dr. Bello Muhammad Mutawale on his return as the governor-elect for Zamfara State and the victory of other PDP candidates in the state by the Supreme Court. Dixon also congratulated the leaders of the party and its teeming supporters in Zamfara for their dedication, commitment and resilience, which culminated in the party's victory at the polls in Zamfara. The Bayelsa governor, who is also chairman of the South Governors Forum, thanked the judiciary for standing up to the expectations of all well-meaning Nigerians as an impartial arbiter of justice. He said that it was rather reassuring and commendable for the judiciary to display such a high level of courage and professionalism, especially given the unusual times. Apart from leaving politics, not a few Nigerians described the Supreme Court judgment on the Zamfara APC crisis as a watershed. Clearview TV's Joy Ezekwie, who was on the street of Abuja after the judgment, brings us more reactions.
Well, Nigeria is moving forward. It's good for our democracy because where the rule of law stands. Well, I give that credit to the president himself because if the head is not agreeing to the verdict, it will not stand. So I'm very, very happy with what is happening in Nigeria. We are developing, we are progressing, and we are going somewhere. This is a very, very good development for this nation. And you know, judiciary is the hope of the common man. And so there's hope for everybody, whether you are rich, young, small or big.
Internal democracy. All the political parties in Nigeria, they don't have internal democracy. The party leaders put people that they want to take the power, and they always have problems, especially during their primaries. I think this will be a lesson to all the political parties that they all have to plan and have their candidates well selected.
I think that's the position of law as it stands, and you cannot change it. The Supreme Court remains the apex court in the country, so their decision is authority and cannot be reversed. And I think what they did is the right thing, because there is a stipulated time for primaries, and I think APC were unable to meet up to the particular time.
There's no any implication because Zamfara people, it is the thing that they are waiting for. Zamfara people are already waiting for this time. because it is the only solution. It is the only alternative for Zamfara people. Inshallah, Zamfara people will see another good governance for this time around, because it's already for PDP. Well, it is the day that we stay waiting for. And this Buhari administration is showing us it's going accordingly. It's beaten bit by bit. And we are happy. We are praying for this government.
I think, to my own view, the Supreme Court did the right thing, because the Zamfara APC, they are not organized even at the first place. They decide to keep the ceiling of power. The governor want to control the party actually, and the national body want to have a say in the party, in the state. So at the end of the day, they become a jack of all trades, master of none. APC did not stand to make an atmosphere conducive for themselves in Zamfara, while PDP used their advantage. That become an opportunity to PDP to utilize it. So after everything, PDP has the right to become, the Supreme Court had the right to declare PDP winner.
The new Zamfara governor-elect Bello Matawalle of the People's Democratic Party has commended the judiciary for standing up to the truth in the discharge of its responsibilities. Matawalle became the new governor-elect on Friday, being the candidate with the second highest number of votes from the last governorship election in the state. This followed a 5-member panel decision of the Supreme Court, which nullified the All Progressives Congress victory over the party's failure to conduct primaries as contained in its constitution. In a statement signed by one of his aides, Umar Mohammed, Matawalle said, "The judgment is a testimony that the judiciary has remained fair in the discharge of its responsibilities." He congratulated the people of Zamfara, especially PDP supporters, for remaining peaceful and orderly throughout the time they sought redress in the court. You are watching Clearview Television News. We will be back after this time out.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Madam, go and bring us your husband. Okay, hello baby. We're in this together, okay? Can you hear me? Keep coming forward. Wait, stop. You okay, lean to your right. Keep walking down, keep walking to the left. Yes. You're almost here. Keep going. You are here. Wow, you did it.
I'm just so glad I didn't have to use my cane to do this.
And I am so glad no other man got you before me. Let me be your eyes.
We will never stop working to give you a network you can rely on, so you can enjoy life's special moments. MTN, everywhere you go.
Welcome back. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Zamfara State, Bello Matawalle, as the governor-elect along with his deputy. This followed the Supreme Court's judgment delivered in Abuja on the 2019 governorship, national and state assembly elections held in the state. The Supreme Court on Friday ruled that the All Progressives Congress, APC, did not hold valid party primaries as required by law, and therefore invalidated the participation of the party in the last governorship, national assembly and state assembly elections in Zamfara State. Clearview TV's Aniete Patrick completes the story.
The Electoral Commission had issued the timetable and schedule of activities for the 2019 general elections on 9th January 2018, over 1 year in advance. Among other activities, the conduct of party primaries was scheduled to take place between 18th August and 7th October 2018. Unfortunately, the APC did not conduct its primaries in Zamfara State within the stipulated time, and the Commission duly informed the party that it would not be in a position to present candidates for elections in the state. Subsequently, various interested parties, including the APC itself, approached the court over the decision of the Commission. Just before the election, the subsisting court judgment at the time ordered the commission to include the APC on the ballot for the governorship, National Assembly and State Assembly elections, which the commission complied with.
The Supreme Court, having determined that the APC did not conduct valid primaries, said that the votes cast for the party in all the elections in question were wasted, and ordered the commission to recognize the runners-up as the winners. This judgment affects the positions of governor and deputy governor, the 3 senatorial, 7 federal, and 24 state assembly constituencies. In compliance with the Supreme Court judgment, the Commission has now determined the winners of the elections in Zamfara State as follows. Governorship: Governor Bello Mohammed Matawalle, PDP. Deputy Governor Mahdi Aliou Gusau, PDP.
Yakubu seized the opportunity to draw the attention of all stakeholders, but particularly political parties, to the implications of the Supreme Court's judgment on the Zamfara matter, reminding them that the Commission has since 9th April 2019 issued a timetable and schedule of activities for the 2019 Bayelsa and Kogi governorship elections, by which party primaries are scheduled to hold between the 2nd and 29th August 2019. He appealed to political parties intending to field candidates in the elections to adhere strictly to these and other timelines in the timetable and schedule of activities.
I wish to seize this opportunity to draw the attention of all stakeholders, but particularly the political parties, to the implications of the Supreme Court judgment on the Zamfara matter. It is clear that properly conducted party primaries are cardinal to the proper internal functioning of political parties, the electoral process, and our democratic system in general. Therefore, political parties must take very seriously the conduct of primaries according to all extant rules, including the monitoring processes by INEC, to avoid a repeat of the Zamfara experience.
The Commission, however, will be issuing certificates of return to the new winners as follows: Governor and Deputy Governor-elects, Senators-elects, and members of the House of Representatives-elects will receive their certificates on Monday 27th May 2019 at the Commission's Electoral Institute at 2 p.m., while members of the State House of Assembly-elects will receive their certificates from the Resident Electoral Commissioner for Zamfara State at the INEC State Office in Gusau on Friday 31st May 2019 at 10 a.m. Annie T. Patrick, reporting for Clearview Television.
Nigerians are putting finishing touches to preparations to celebrate 20 years of unbroken democratic rule in the country on Wednesday, May 29. Ahead of the event, top government functionaries and heads of all security agencies met this Friday in Abuja to appraise their state of readiness. As correspondent Cecilia Coley now tells us, the officials rose from the meeting with an assurance that security will be tight on that day.
President Muhammadu Buhari will be officially sworn in to commence his 4-year second term on May 29 in the nation's capital, Abuja. Ahead of the presidential inauguration ceremony, all security arrangements are being beefed up to ensure a hitch-free event, amidst fear that the ceremony could be disrupted by sponsored protests or some unpatriotic persons. Personnel of the various security services have been fine-tuning their operational strategies to ensure maximum security, including military displays on the combat readiness of the personnel. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, sheds more light on the reason for the display by the security agencies.
We rectify whatever shortcomings or mistakes before the D-Day, such as the acoustic, the sound. This rehearsal has provided us the opportunity of determining who will be where and when on that day, because on the day of the inauguration itself there will be no room to make amends. I assure you, the country will be well secured, not only this venue. The entire country will be well secured, and I can see that the country is safe, not just for this celebration, but it's safe.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, while also speaking on the level of preparations, said that there are no challenges as all is set for the inauguration ceremony. He also dismissed fears that the event could turn violent.
We don't have any much challenge. There's nothing of concern. We'll be on the alert. We have a security committee that is taking care of that. We'll maintain adequate vigil to ensure that nothing unwarranted happens, and I can assure you that we're on top of the game. We don't expect anything.
Newly elected or re-elected state governors will also be sworn in on May 29 at the various state capitals. Cecilia Okoli reporting for Clearview Television.
The Code of Conduct Bureau has given President Muhammadu Buhari, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, state governors and other public officers up to May 28, 2019 to submit their end of tenure asset declaration forms. CCB's Chief Press Officer Charity Utok said the deadline became necessary as their tenure, be it first or second in office, ends on May 29. However, other public officers, mainly members of the outgoing 8th National Assembly, who were inaugurated on June 9, 2015, have up to June 8, 2019, a few hours to the expiration of their tenure to declare their assets. Those expected to declare their assets by virtue of the constitutional provision are the President, Vice President, President and Deputy President of the Senate, Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Speakers and Deputy Speakers of State Houses of Assembly, and all members of legislative houses. Others are governors and deputy governors, the Attorney General of the Federation and Attorney General of each state, ministers, commissioners, secretary to the government of the Federation and secretaries to state governments. Paragraph 11 of the Part 1 to the 5th Schedule to the Constitution compels public officers to declare their assets to the CCB immediately after taking office and thereafter at the end of every 4 years. The public officers are obliged to submit to the Code of Conduct Bureau a written declaration of all their property, assets and liabilities and those of their unmarried children under the age of 18 years. Utok also said all incoming political office holders have up to 3 months to make their declarations to the CCB, while the outgoing ones must do so as soon as they step out of office. President Muhammadu Buhari this Saturday arrived at Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, to commission some of the projects executed by Governor Ibikunle Amosun. The presidential chopper NAV 540 touched down at Arcade Ground, State Secretariat Okemoson at exactly 10:18 a.m. local time. President Buhari was received by Governor Amosun, Governors Akinwumi Ambade, Lagos, Kayode Fayemi, Ekiti, and Rotimi Akeredolu, Ondo. Others were the Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, Aleke of Egbaland, Oba Adedotun Gbadebo, former legal advisor of All Progressives Congress, Muiz Banner. Among some of the projects christened legacy projects, built for commissioning by the President at the OGTV Ultra-Modern Studio at Ajebo, Adere Mall at Itoku Market, the Judicial Complex along Kobakpe Road, Amphitheater in the city center, and the renovated Old Governor's Office of Oke-Ileo. Others are the 250-bed ultra-modern hospital at Okemoson and the Wasmi International Airport in Ewekoro local government area. And the $5.7 million and 2.4 billion naira seized from former First Lady Patience Jonathan by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) are cash gifts which she received when her husband was in office and not proceeds of crime. This is the submission of her counsel, Ifedayo Adedipe, before the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos. Adedipe, a senior advocate of Nigeria, told the court presided over by Justice Mojishola Olatoregun to dismiss the application by the EFCC, praying that the money be permanently forfeited to the federal government. Adedipe argued that it is wrong for the EFCC to tag the money as proceeds of crime when the former First Lady had committed no crime and when nobody complained that their money was missing. The former First Lady told the court that till date, nobody has accused her of stealing money and therefore urged the court to order the release of the $5.7 million and 2.4 billion naira seized from her by the EFCC. Adedipe said such gifts were normal, pointing out that even the wife of President Muhammadu Buhari, Aisha, is currently seeking to build a university. He contended that Section 17 of the Advance Fee Fraud, which EFCC relied upon to seize Patience Jonathan funds, was only applicable to fraudsters. It is not the law that if the EFCC finds money in an account and it doesn't like the owner's face, it comes to court and says forfeit it. Noting that the government is at liberty to apply for forfeiture, but the offense must be stated. Adedipe said that there is no justification for the forfeiture as the EFCC has not proved that Patience Jonathan stole money from the government or any individual. And the Kogi State Police Command has arrested 25 suspected criminals from their believed hideouts. The Police Commissioner, Hakim Busari, said the continuous onslaught against kidnapping, armed banditry and other crimes in the state has continued to yield positive results through the dedication of special operatives attached to the recently launched Operation Poof Adder.
These achievements were due to proactive strategies rooted in intelligence-led policing and robust interaction with various strata of our communities, particularly in the area of information sharing, since it has become obvious that security is all stakeholders' affairs. These achievements recorded by Kogi State Police Command are in line with the objectives of the core mandate of the Operation Pop Adder, an initiative of Acting Inspector General of Police, IGP Mohammed Adamu, MPM, MNI, aimed at ridding all forms of violent crimes within our society.
Some of the arrested suspects confessed to their crimes.
As my friend bought the gun, he used the local orchard to protect the box so that they will not steal the box. Because every election time they used to steal box in our place. So because of that, they did not steal it. So when I bought that, one of my cousin, my friend, bought the gun. We now keep, after election, we keep it for his place. As we come back, that is when we go to collect the gun. He bring the gun for us, and the bullet. That is when we take it for.
Who are you working for?
No, it's our village. They used to press on us. They will not allow our polling unit to win. That's why we protect our box.
In their village, and their village, Temenega Opali, push I went to the security place, and I got the 7 cartridge, and that is 7 cartridge, yes. And I give to this boy. And I don't know that he's using this money after the election. After they losing the election, he dropped the cartridge and this is to my place. This is on 10th of this month. He called me. I think don't go and pass okay. I should go and give him the cartridge. Which I returned the cartridge and the gun to his place. And I did not know that he's going to use it for robbery.
I was arrested with this vehicle in Kaduna when I went to sell my Madam Boy.
So what happened?
So I was arrested at Fantika during the process of marketing the vehicle.
Okay, who owns the vehicle?
My madam, my boss.
So how come you decided to sell the vehicle?
I was tempted. It was temptation. I didn't have a thought of it. It was temptation.
21 of the suspects are being held in connection with armed robbery and kidnapping, while 4 others were arrested for acts of violence at Ulara village in Dekina. Items recovered from the suspects include motor vehicles, motorcycles, household appliances, arms and ammunition. The arrests were made in Lokoja, Ganaja village, Ogugu in Olamoboro local government, Ayimba and Felele. The police commissioner promised to rid Kogi of criminal elements through the continued efforts of Operation Puff Adder.
The Katsina Emirate Council says it would not hold the usual Salah Dubar during the forthcoming Eid Fitr. The decision was taken to enable the people to rather mourn victims of recent bandit attacks in some communities in the state. The Emirates Information Officer Ibrahim Bindawa said in a statement on Saturday in Katsina that the Emir of Katsina, Alhaji Abdul Mumini Kabir, has directed that the suspension of the usual Salah Dubar during Eid Fitr celebration be communicated to the people of the state. Bindawa, however, said that special prayers would be held after the Eid prayer to seek Allah's intervention for sustainable peace in the state and the country at large. Bandits had attacked communities in Batsari, Dam Musa and Kankara local government area of the state, killing several persons. The National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) says it will henceforth commence full implementation of allocation of 10% airtime for children programming by broadcast stations in the country. The NBC zonal officer in the Federal Capital Territory, Franca Ayrton, stated these at 2019 Annual Young Broadcasters Awards held in Abuja, the Nigerian capital. Our correspondent, Cecilia Okoli, has the details.
The awards, a brainchild of Silverbird TV, are aimed at encouraging and appreciating the creativity of children, their vocabulary skills and self-confidence, particularly those hoping to make a career in broadcasting. Speaking at the event, the head of the station, Silverbird, Omoloya Oladimeji, says the essence of the awards is to appreciate and encourage young broadcasters with the zeal and desire to make a career in broadcasting.
We believe that it shouldn't just be everybody barging into the profession. They have to train right from the beginning. And we say we don't want to wait till they get to the university to study mass communication. They should be able to start right from the senior secondary school.
She speaks further on how the progress of upcoming young broadcasters will be monitored in their respective schools.
We go to schools during their co-curricular hour. You know, they have press clubs. So we go there to train. We've identified some people in the media who are willing to mentor.
For the zonal officer of the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, Franca Ayetan, the Commission is ready to enforce its 10% allocation of airtime by broadcast stations to children programming as a way of showing its full support for the young broadcasters.
NBC is ready to enforce the 10% provisions of the code on children's programming. Stations are shying away from it, and that's why I'm happy today that a lot of the stations' representatives, particularly the GMs, are present at this Nigeria Young Broadcasters Forum.
Also speaking, the DECT officer, Secondary Education, FCT Education Board, Ethan Noye, assured that the board will ensure that the young professionals are brought up in the right way through providing them with the best educational background.
We are all around, and so our plans are to really bring them up the right way, give them a good background, a good foundation. That is our responsibility, and that's what we've always done. That's why we're partnering with Lucia Media to make sure that these young adults are given the best.
The Nigerian Young Broadcasters Awards attracted students from various secondary schools in Abuja City, parents as well as top dignitaries. The event featured performance from children expressing themselves in creative ways through dancing, comedy, debates, radio presentations, public speaking, as well as motivational talks. Cecilia Okoli reporting for Clearview Television.
You're still watching Clearview Television News. The news continues after this time out.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Adam, go and bring us your husband. Okay. Hello, baby. We're in this together, okay? Can you hear me? Keep coming forward. Wait. Stop. You okay, lean to your right. Keep walking down. Keep walking to the left. Yes. You're almost here. Keep going. You are here. Wow, you did it.
I'm just so glad I didn't have to use my cane to do this.
And I am so glad no other man got you before me. Let me be your eyes.
We will never stop working to give you a network you can rely on, so you can enjoy life's special moments. MTN, everywhere you go.
Welcome back. Nigeria is joining the rest of the world to mark this year's African Liberation Day, which comes up on Saturday, May 25. To commemorate the day, Action Aid Nigeria, in partnership with the African Rising Activista Nigeria, organized a conference with the aim of raising public awareness on the implementation of the African Charter on Democracy, Elections and Governance. Clearview TV's Uju Onyemechalu has the details.
African Liberation Day is commemorated annually on 25th May to celebrate the determination of the African people in their fight for freedom from foreign domination and exploitation. Speaking at the event, the country director Action Aid Nigeria (NAOP) harped on the need for Africans to reclaim their civic space in the world, change their story, and change the perception of Africa.
We are celebrating a day of freedom, a day of liberation. But we need to connect it to our national unity. We are still struggling as a people to liberate ourselves from even the people, from dictators within our environment. And that is the struggle today. And that is the call that culminated into the African Charter.
The policy officer Action Aid Nigeria, Aromi Agenyi, encouraged citizens, especially those in the media, to lend their voices to the conversation on the implementation of the African Charter on Democracy, Election and Governance.
We are using this opportunity to say that citizens, young persons, women, those especially in the media, should collaborate, to come together and advance the conversations around the implementation of the African Charter on Democracy, Elections and Governance. So what do we do to ensure this instrument is implemented in Nigeria? We need to talk about it. We need to talk about it on the social media. We need to talk about it on every platform that we have.
This year marks the 56th African Liberation Day since 1963, when representatives of 32 independent African states met in Ethiopia and formed the Organization of African Unity. Uju Onyemechalu reporting for Clearview Television.
And in South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa on Saturday took the oath of office as President of South Africa at a colorful ceremony with a vow to enthrone a new era. Ramaphosa took the oath of office at the Lofos Westfield Stadium in Pretoria. Now the details. Foreign heads of state from more than 40 countries were among 36,000 people who witnessed the event replete with pomp, military honors and an Air Force flyover at a rugby stadium in Pretoria. More than 2,500 police were deployed for security, while a battalion of soldiers performed ceremonial parades inside the stadium. The Air Force put a spectacular aerobatics display overhead. The 66-year-old leader was unanimously elected by Parliament to a 5-year term after his African National Congress won legislative elections on May 8, taking 230 of the 400 seats. And Theresa May has said she will quit as Conservative leader on June 7, paving the way for a contest to decide a new Prime Minister. In an emotional statement in Downing Street, she said she had done her best to honor the 2016 EU referendum unit. It would remain a matter of deep regret that she had been unable to deliver Brexit she added. May said she will continue to serve as Prime Minister while a conservative leadership contest takes place. She will step down as Tory leader on June 7, and a leadership contest is due to begin the following week.
Certain today, as I did 3 years ago, that in a democracy, if you give people a choice, you have a duty to implement what they decide. I have done my best to do that. I negotiated the terms of our exit and a new relationship with our closest neighbours that protects jobs, our security and our union. I have done everything I can to convince MPs to back that deal. Sadly, I have not been able to do so. I tried 3 times. I believe it was right to persevere, even when the odds against success seemed high. But it is now clear to me that it is in the best interests of the country for a new Prime Minister to lead that effort. So I am today announcing that I will resign as leader of the Conservative and Unionist Party on Friday the 7th of June, so that a successor can be chosen. I will shortly leave the job that it has been the honour of my life to hold. The second female Prime Minister, but certainly not the last. I do so with no ill will, but with enormous and enduring gratitude to have had the opportunity to serve the country I love.
The Prime Minister has faced a backslash for her MPs against her latest Brexit plan, which included concessions aimed at attracting cross-party support. In her statement on Friday, she said that in order to deliver Brexit, her successor would have to build agreement in Parliament. Meanwhile, President Emmanuel Macron of France has urged swift clarification on Brexit after the resignation of UK Prime Minister Theresa May. He stressed the need to maintain the smooth functioning of the EU, as the EU ruled out any change to Brexit policy. May is stepping down after failing to get her withdrawal agreement through Parliament 3 times. The French leader also joined EU leaders in paying tribute to May's courage. The European Commission made clear it would work with Theresa May's successor, but that there would not be any changes to the withdrawal agreement. President Jean-Claude Juncker followed Prime Minister May's announcement this morning without personal joy. The president appreciated working with Prime Minister May, describing her as a woman of courage, whom he has great respect. With the development, Conservative MPs will be throwing their hats into the ring to become the next Tory leader and Prime Minister after Theresa May announced she would be stepping down on 7th June. Boris Johnson, Andrew Leadsom, Dominic Raab and Michael Gove have already been touted as front runners. An Israeli ambassador to Nigeria, Shimon Ben Shoshan, has called for stronger ties between Nigeria and Israel to promote trade and development in the country. Shoshan made the call at the 71st anniversary of the independent state of Israel held on Tuesday in Abuja, the Nigerian capital. Now the report. Became an independent state on May 14, 1948, following a declaration by the executive head of the World Zionist Organization, General David Ben-Gurion. Before then, the country had been ruled by the Jewish Agency for Palestine under the British mandate. Since the declaration of the independent state of Israel, the day is observed nationally as a holiday. Over time, Israeli embassies around the world joined in the annual celebrations. This year's Independence Day celebration in Abuja, Nigeria, was unique. It was marked by a beautiful performance by world-renowned Israeli artist Edan Rachel Project. Beyond the clicking of glasses to mark the 71st anniversary, the event presented another opportunity for Israel and Nigeria to renew their friendship and commitment to promoting bilateral relations between the two countries. The Israeli ambassador to Nigeria, Shimon Ben Shoshan, said the state of Israel and Nigeria have come a long way and prayed God to continue to strengthen the relationship between them.
Israelis have a built-in longing for peace. a yearning to increase well-being, and an eagerness to share their capabilities with the rest of the world, and of course, with the Nigerian people. Brothers and sisters, yes, you are all my brothers and sisters because I got an African blood in my veins.
The ambassador, in a separate interview with newsmen, speaks further on the essence of celebrating the event in their host country.
I can assure you that this is something that will move on not only the relationship on the political level or the other level that we always talk about, but this not. It's about culture, about music, about people to people, about brothers and sisters.
Also speaking on the 71st anniversary of the Free State of Israel, a senior pastor of the Faith Champions Assembly, Abuja, Pastor Ujo, called on Nigerian leaders to take a cue from Israel by bringing about rapid development in the country.
When Israel started, they started about 71 years ago. The first thing they did is to make sure they unite the entirety of the country, and then they pursued technology. Because of their technological advancement, they've become an asset to the whole world. That is a bit very difficult to see any gadget this day that is not actually having an input from Israel.
Present at the 71st anniversary of the independent state of Israel were the governor of Bayelsa State, Saraike Dixon, Minister of Labor and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, former governor of Akwa Ibom State, Senator Godswill Akpabio, Director General, National Maritime and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Dr. Dakuku Peterside, and a host of others. And Nigeria got off a flying start at the 2019 FIFA Under-20 World Cup Finals in Poland on Friday as goals by Maxwell Effiong, Henry Ofia and Ayotomiwa Dele Bashiru condemned Qatar to a 4-0 defeat in Taiki homeland. Base professional Maxwell Effiong got the 7-time African champions in front after only 12 minutes, and Sweden-based Henry Ofia doubled the advantage 12 minutes later. The two-time FIFA Under-20 World Cup runners-up kept a firm hand on things from that point on, and Ofia should have made it 3 early in the second finals, but saw his weak efforts parried for a corner kick. Manchester City of England's Ayotomiwa showed shrewdness and clinical competence when put through by a great pass to make it 3 in the 68th minute. Defender Aliou Salawuddin, on the books of Amuneke Academy, rifled into the net for Nigeria's fourth after the ball fell into his path from a corner kick. The Flying Eagles will head to the city of Vescobiala, where they play the United States of America in their second game on Monday. And power forward Desire Okparanozie and defender Onomebi top the list of 23 players who will adorn Nigeria's colors at the 8th FIFA Women's World Cup Finals in France, as head coach Thomas Denebi released Nigeria's final squad in Austria on Friday. Usual suspects Tochukwu Oluehi, Osinachi Ohale, Ngozi Ebere, Rita Chikwelu, Ngozi Okobi, Halimatu Ayinde, Azizat Oshola, Rashidat Ajibade, and Francisca Odega are all on the roster, but defender Josephine Chukwunoye and England-based forward Imi Abasi Omotong were asked. Defender Chidinma Okeke made the cut, as did midfielders Amarachi Okoronkwo and Evelyn Nwabuoku, and home-based forward Alice Ogebe. The Super Falcons will depart Austria, where they are on a 2-week residential camping Tuesday, 4th June, for France, where they will play Norway, Korea Republic, and host nation France, in that order, the group phase. Lionel Messi has become the first player to win Europe's Golden Shoe Award for the 3rd consecutive year after his nearest challenger Kylian Mbappe failed to score the 4 goals he needed in Paris Saint-Germain's final league match of the season on Friday. Messi earned the honor, which goes to the leading scorer in league matches in Europe's top divisions for a record extending 6th time after finding the net 36 times for Barcelona, while Mbappe ended the campaign on 33 goals after scoring PSG's only goal in a 3-1 loss at Stade de Reims. While Messi's goal helped his side clinch the La Liga title last month, the 31-year-old Argentine said earlier on Friday that he was not giving the Golden Shoe race much thought, with the side still coming to terms with their Champions League semi-final elimination to Liverpool. Monaco escaped relegation from League One despite losing 2-0 at Nice on Friday in the final game of a season in which they were always in danger of going down. While Caen were relegated, the result left Monaco in 17th place with 36 points, 2 ahead of Dijon, who will play RC Lens in the promotion relegation playoff after beating Toulouse 2-1 at home. Caen will join already relegated basement side and Avant Camp in League 2 next season after a 1-0 home loss to Girondins. The Bordeaux left them second from bottom on 33 points. Champions PSG finished the season with a 3-1 defeat at mid-table side, the Reims. And before we go, another look at our top stories. The Independent National Electoral Commission has declared the candidates of the main opposition People's Democratic Party, Bello Matoali, and his deputy winners of the 2019 governorship election in Zamfara State in compliance with Friday's Supreme Court judgment on the APC crisis. The Code of Conduct Bureau has directed President Buhari, Vice President Oshibajo, and all other public office holders to redeclare their assets on or before May 28 deadline. And South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has vowed to fight corruption and revive the country's economy after being sworn in on Saturday for a 5-year term. And that's the news. Remember that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel via Clearview TV, like us on Facebook via Clearview Television, follow us on Twitter at Clearview Online, follow us on Instagram at Clearview TV_NG. You can also watch Clearview TV on Nigecomsat with any free-to-air decoder. For details, contact your local installer. I am Rose Audu. Many thanks for watching.